Heartwarming surprise. Millionaire reveals life-changing gesture for poor girl denied entry. As the clock ticked down to prom night, Lily's heart felt like a drum in her chest. The small-town diner buzzed with the smell of burgers and fries, but all she could think of was the white dress hanging in her closet. She worked doubles, serving coffee and pie, her hands a little rough from all the scrubbing, her smile practiced. But deep down, she felt the weight of bills piling up at home. Her mom, a brave but broken soldier, struggled every day with memories that haunted her like ghosts. They relied on each other. Lily was determined to make it to prom even if it didn't seem possible. One fateful day, her dream shattered when chalkboard announcements blared. Unpaid prom fees? You're out. Disbelief spread through her like wildfire. Heart heavy, she caught the pitying glances of classmates whose laughter filled the air. She shuffled past them, shame wrapping around her like a heavy blanket. But just when it seemed all hope was lost, wealthy businessman Tom drove through town in his shiny car, memories of simpler days stirring inside him. As he passed the diner, a flicker of recognition pulled him back to times when he, too, knew hunger and struggle. Seeing Lily, he felt compelled to reconnect with his roots. The twist of fate struck him harder than he expected. He heard the news about Lily and felt a lump in his throat. This wasn't right. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. That night, he gathered his courage, knocking at Lily's front door. When her mom opened it, apprehension dripped from the air. Tom's gentle eyes bore witness to the struggles they faced. "I'd like to help you with the fees," he offered, hoping for gratitude but meeting fierce refusal. "We don't need charity," her mother shot back, pride igniting a fire in her heart. That confrontation hung in the air like a storm cloud, prompting Tom to consider a more discreet approach. Unknown to Lily, he decided to pay off her fees anonymously, determined to honor her mother's wish for dignity while reminding the town of its compassion. The prom night arrived, and as Lily entered the venue, magic enveloped her. Twinkling lights danced overhead like stars swirling in the night sky. The laughter of classmates floated around her, but uncertainty twisted in her stomach. Each moment felt unreal yet intoxicating. Who had made this possible? In that sea of glitter and celebration, joy intermingled with confusion. Caught in a whirlwind of emotion, Lily faced a choice: accept the kindness given or hold onto her pride. As she danced beneath twinkling lights with a heart full of dreams, questions swirled in her mind. Could kindness rewrite her reality? Time slowed as she spun, inhaling the scent of hope, joy, and the promise of change. Would this night be the turning point for her? For them all? The air crackled with potential as the story unfolded, waiting for Lily to discover the truths hidden within her heart, and the town to awaken to a brighter future. The music swelled, wrapping around Lily like a warm hug. She twirled, her dress fluttering like the wings of a butterfly, while laughter filled the air. The unfamiliar feeling of belonging danced within her, lighting up her spirit. Though the stares from some classmates had once pierced her, now they felt different: curiosity mixed with admiration. As she glanced across the room, a familiar figure caught her eye. Tom leaned against the wall, a small smile on his lips as he observed the evening unfold. He looked different from the man who stood at her front door. His presence now seemed to exude warmth rather than awkwardness. A rush of gratitude surged within Lily. How had he seen her worth when even she struggled to see it? But lurking in the back of her mind, doubt stirred. She had to know the truth. As she stepped to the side, breathless from dancing, the shadows of the past crept into her thoughts. What would her mom think? Would she really want her to accept this kindness? Lily, Ray, her best friend, bounded over, her eyes gleaming. "You look amazing. Are you having the best time?" The infectious energy around them was undeniable, but Lily hesitated. "Yeah, it's incredible," she replied, forcing a smile. "But I need to know who helped me get here." Ray frowned, sensing her friend's turmoil. "Can't you just enjoy it? Whoever it is clearly wanted you here, and look at you. You belong." But that wasn't enough. Lily needed answers. With determination, she made her way through the crowd, feeling lighter with each step. Tom caught her gaze, and the connection sent a jolt of resolve through her. She walked toward him, half excited, half fearful. "Tom," she called, trying to ignore the flutter of nerves. He turned, and for a moment the world seemed to pause. "Lily," he greeted, his tone warm and inviting. "You look beautiful. Are you the one who helped me with the fees?" Her voice trembled slightly, but she held on tight to her courage. Tom's expression shifted, a small shadow flickering across his face momentarily. I just wanted to do something good," he admitted softly, casting his gaze to the floor. "But it's more than just money, I sent it?" She stepped closer, searching his eyes for the truth. "You believe in kindness." He looked up and their eyes locked. "I believe in second chances. In hope. I know what it's like to struggle, Lily. I wanted to remind you that you matter." A lump formed in her throat as emotion swelled between them. His genuine desire to uplift her touched a deep part of her heart. This wasn't about charity. It was a reminder that community mattered, that connection mattered. Lily took a breath, swallowing back the tears that threatened to spill. "It means more than you can imagine," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "Thank you for believing in me when I didn't believe in myself." Tom smiled. "You're stronger than you know." In that moment, the weight of the world felt a little lighter. The air shimmered with possibility, but new questions began to swirl. Could Tom help her mother, tapping into a past that connected them all? As the celebration continued around them, a spark ignited inside Lily. She was ready to embrace not just her future, but her mother's too. What if she took that leap now? Lily's heart raced as she considered the path forward. Could she not only change her own life but also open the door for her mother to heal? The crowd buzzed around them, but in that moment, it felt like just the two of them existed. The night shimmered with potential as she pondered her next steps. What would she say? And would Tom be willing to stand with her? As she held his gaze, a new journey began to unfold, one that could alter not just one life, but two. Lily felt the ground beneath her shift, like the world was tilting towards something extraordinary. She searched Tom's eyes, seeing a pool of understanding and encouragement. It made the doubts in her heart seem so small. What would she say? What if she asked him to join her on this journey? "Tom," she began, her voice quivering slightly. What if we reached out to my mom? Maybe we could help her together?" For a heartbeat, the music seemed to fade away, and the room became a hazy backdrop. His brow furrowed slightly, understanding threaded with caution. "Your mom?" He tilted his head, curiosity flipping through his expression. "How would you want to start?" I believe she needs help finding her way," Lily explained, the words tumbling out before she could second-guess herself. "There's so much pain there. I think if we approached her with kindness, she could see there's hope." Tom nodded slowly, his gaze flickering away for just a moment, as if contemplating the depth of her proposal. "Do you think she'd accept it, though? People in pain often build walls the way they push others away." A sadness flooded her. I know how it works. I've seen her struggle. It's like there's a veil between us, and I want to break through. You could help. You could show her what a second chance looks like." His eyes softened, the warmth returning. "You're incredibly brave, Lily. Wanting to help her, to bridge that gap, it's not an easy task. But it's a necessary one," she replied, feeling fire ignite in her belly. "And I believe we could make a difference together." As they spoke, the laughter, the twinkling lights, and the ongoing festivities spun around them, oblivious to the gravity of their conversation. This was more than just a dance. It held the promise of healing, of transformation. Looking past him, she pointed out the doors that led outside to the chill of the evening air. What if we stepped away for a moment? Talked more clearly? Tom's face blazed with potential, and he stepped closer, lowering his voice to a hush. I would be honored to be by your side for this. You are brimming with hope, and your mom deserves that light. Ray reappeared, pulling Lily back into the moment with an excited cheer. Hey, you two look deep in conversation. What's going on? Lily's heart raced, conflicted between excitement and nerves. We were just brainstorming ideas, she replied, stealing a glance at Tom. Brainstorming? Sounds serious, Ray teased. But then she leaned in. Are you okay? What did Tom say? Before Lily could respond, the music shifted. The DJ announced a slow dance, drawing couples closer together. An awkward reminder that they were in an everyday celebration while the world around them held so much weight. Do you want to dance? Tom asked, breaking her reverie, the invitation hanging in the air like spun sugar. She nodded, feeling a flutter of anticipation. The thought of stepping into the center of the dance floor sent adrenaline rushing through her. As they moved together, the rhythm became a backdrop to their unspoken bond, a blend of hope and understanding flowing between them. But within her, Lily felt a hornet's nest of emotions still buzzing. Was she really ready to confront her mother? Would this unfolding path be the light she craved, or would it lead her into darkness? But as Tom gently twirled her to the music, another thought emerged. Could their steps now lead to a reawakening, to a healing not just for herself but for her family? As the dance continued, Lily's mind raced. She could almost see the doors to possibility cracking open in front of her, shining a light on what could be. But before she could embrace it fully, a nagging question lingered. Was she brave enough to confront the past? With the warmth of Tom's presence beside her, she realized she had one chance to make this right. Would she seize it? The music swirled around them, lending a dreamlike haze to the room as Lily twirled in Tom's arms, lost in a retreat from the world's noise. The weight of her worries dimmed as they swayed gently. Each step felt significant, like the beat of her heart propelling her toward the decision that could redefine everything. Lily, Tom's voice broke through her reverie, soft and smooth. What if, after this dance, we stepped outside? Just us? Her heart raced at the idea. Felt right. A moment where they could peel back the layers of expectations. Gripping his hand tighter, she nodded, a surge of excitement coursing through her. As the last notes of the song faded, they stepped away from the thrumming crowd, the sharp chill of the evening air hitting her like a gentle wake-up call. The world outside felt different, quieter, more subdued, yet vast with potential. Street lamps painted golden pools of light on the ground, shimmering like promises yet to be fulfilled. They found a bench under a tree, the leaves whispering above them. The air was still, holding the tension of unspoken thoughts. Tom turned to her, his expression earnest. Are you sure about this? Helping your mom? Lily took a deep breath, the chill filling her lungs. I can't shake the feeling that now is the time. It's possible she's ready to talk. I just need to show her that she's not alone anymore. Her resolve mingled with a hint of fear, tightening her throat. Tom nodded, and for a moment the silence spoke volumes. His green eyes sparkled, illuminated by the distant streetlights, and it struck her just how deeply connected they had become. You know she might push back, right? Can be hard to face your demons. Lily swallowed hard. I've lived it, but I want her to see that there's so much to life beyond the pain. If I can be brave, maybe she will be too for us. Tom reached for her hand, wrapping it in his warmth. I'll be there with you, every step of the way. His words wrapped around her like a hug. The thought of facing that fearful conversation with him by her side made the daunting task feel a little lighter. Thank you, Tom. This means more than you know. A hint of a smile flickered on his lips, as if he was proud of her for confronting her truth. But just then, a shrill voice cut through the tender moment. Ray came bounding toward them, laugh lighting up the stillness. Hey, we've been looking for you too. Come on, the cake is about to be served. Just like that, the spell of intimacy broke. Lily and Tom exchanged a knowing glance, a shared acknowledgement that life often felt like a dance. It could be beautiful, but it also had its interruptions. Should we join them? Tom asked, tilting his head toward the gathering crowd. For a fleeting second, Lily hesitated. The comfort of their private conversation and the looming challenge ahead collided. Yeah, let us go. But I think I need a little more time to think. Tom's eyes sparkled with understanding. They rose from the bench, fingers lingering for a moment longer before fully breaking apart. Walking back, the sounds of the party swelled again, vibrant and alive, contrasting sharply with the storm brewing inside her. The sweet scent of cake wafted through the air, and as they entered the hall, Lily's heart raced anew both from the excitement of the celebration and the larger battle bubbling beneath the surface. Could she really bridge the gap with her mom? Was the journey worth the risk of potential hurt? At the table, emotions swirled within her, each slice of cake calling for her attention like a metaphor for the choices ahead. As Ray chatted excitedly, Lily felt a subtle pressure in her chest. What if she found the courage to take the first step into the unknown? Could it ultimately transform lives? In the midst of laughter and chatter, Tom caught her eye. The encouragement in his gaze propelled her forward, and for the first time, the weight of that future didn't feel quite as heavy. But as her thoughts lingered there, a sudden movement caught her attention. A familiar figure walked in, and Lily's heart dropped. Standing at the entrance, her mother scanned the room, uncertainty etched across her face. The moment of truth had arrived. Would Lily step forward to claim her chance at healing? The chatter of the crowd faded into a dull hum as Lily stood frozen at the entrance of the room, her heartbeat echoing louder than the music inside. Her mother, with her unsure gaze, felt like a specter from the past materializing in the present. The world around her blurred. She only saw the woman who had once filled her life with warmth, but had also cast the longest shadows. Lily? Tom's voice pulled her back, grounding her momentarily. He stepped closer, urgency in his eyes. Do you want me to stay with you? She could feel the heat rising in her cheeks. All the clarity she had felt just moments before was now tangled in anxiety. I don't know. The uncertainty was heavy on her tongue, a lump she couldn't swallow. Tom glanced toward her mom, who was still scanning the room. She came here for a reason, right? Maybe she's ready to talk. His words sank in, but an invisible barrier felt stronger than ever. What if she's just here to look? Lily half whispered. What if she doesn't really want to engage? Tom's expression softened. You won't know unless you try. And if it doesn't go well, I'm right here. Lily took a breath, steadying herself. The courage she had felt earlier flamed into something more substantial. It was time to face the uncertainty. She brushed her fingers through her hair, brushed off the invisible dust of doubt, and stepped forward. As she walked towards the entrance, each step took on monumental significance. The laughter of her friends faded as she approached her mother. The realization settled over her that this was a chance she could not ignore. Mom, Lily called, her voice rippling through the air. The word tasted foreign, heavy yet liberating. Her mother's gaze snapped to her, surprise crashing through her features, tearing apart the wall of ice between them. Lips parted, her mother seemed momentarily speechless, a look of confusion and hope mingling in her eyes. Lily? Hi, I saw you and thought we could talk. There's something I need to say. The urgency of her words surprised even her. The moment had shifted, vibrating with energy and raw emotion. For a second, it felt as if they were the only two people in the room, the busy celebration fading to silence. With each breath, the distance between them shrank. But then that silence fractured. Lily's heart raced as she prepared for the inevitable defense she feared would come. What do you want? Her mother's voice, tight and guarded, cut through the air. It was a refrain that had become all too familiar over the years. But Lily pressed on, determined this time. I want to understand. I want to help. Her mother's eyes dimmed at those words, a flicker of resistance sparking in the tension between them. Each passing second stretched, an eternity of uncertainty suspended in the air. She opened her mouth to continue, but the words felt lodged in her throat. Doubt crept in again, heavy and familiar. Could this actually work? What if this was just another dead end? Tom remained at a distance, watching with a mixture of support and concern, ready to step in if needed. His faith in her bolstered her confidence. While the chaotic sounds of the party felt worlds away, Lily took a deep breath. Willing herself to stay grounded, she reached out. "Mom, please," but just as she thought she could push past the barrier, a commotion began to bubble up from the party, a flurry of movement and chatter. From the corner of her eye, she noticed Ray, overexcited as she pulled her friends toward them, blissfully unaware of the emotional storm that brewed in front of them. "Lily, come on. Everyone is waiting for cake." Ray's voice sang brightly, slicing through the heavy tension like a knife. Lily's heart sank, torn between the laughter of her friends and the sharpness of her reality. Could she really reach her mother? Would this moment slip away? Glancing back at Tom, who gave her an encouraging nod, she turned to her mom again. This conversation was far from over. "Can we just have a moment?" Lily found herself saying, desperation creeping into her tone. "I need you to hear me." But the question loomed large. After all this time, would her mother truly listen? Or would this moment become just another chapter of misunderstanding and silence? The intensity rose, and with that, the world around them seemed to swirl again, leaving a query lingering heavy in the air. What would it take for them to finally break through and heal? Lily's heart raced, caught in a maelstrom of emotions that felt like a storm brewing just beneath her skin. The laughter and celebrations faded into a distant echo, overshadowed by the desperate need to bridge this chasm between her and her mother. "Lily!" Ray exclaimed again, a bright smile breaking through the heaviness. But her exuberance felt misplaced now. "Come on. You can't miss the cake." Lily's eyes darted between her friends and her mother, who remained a guarded silhouette before her. Her pulse drummed loudly, a reminder that this was her moment. If she didn't face it now, would she regret it forever? "Ray, just give me a second," she called back, trying to keep her voice steady. The sweet frosting and warm celebrations beckoned her. But here stood the woman who had once held her, nurtured her dreams, yet had also inspired so much hurt. "Your friends are waiting, Lily," her mother replied softly, the tension slackening for a brief moment. But the vulnerability in her voice made Lily even more resolute. "I know," she said, drawing strength from the hurt she had buried for years. "But I need to talk to you first. Just 1 minute, please." Her mother watched her carefully, processing the plea that hung in the air. For the first time, Lily saw a glimmer of something in her eyes, curiosity, maybe, or a flicker of hope. Yet, deep within that gaze hid a fortress constructed of years of misunderstandings and fears. "What is there to say that we haven't already said?" Her mom's voice trembled, the edge of her defenses sharpening again. The panic surged within Lily, but she pushed it down. "How about starting with 'I'm sorry'?" The words came out sharper than she intended, fueled by a tidal wave of emotions. "Can we just acknowledge that everything hasn't been okay?" Her mother's face fell, shadows of painful memories flitting across her features. "You think I wanted this? It doesn't matter what you wanted." Lily's voice rose, laced with a pain she could no longer contain. "What matters is that it's been years of silence. I need to know why we can't be us." Tension crackled between them like static in the air just before a storm. For a fleeting moment, Lily's anger forged a connection. It felt honest and raw, stripping away the facade each had worn for far too long. Her mom's eyes searched hers. "I've dealt with my own demons, Lily. I didn't think maybe I still don't." Lily's breath hitched. "Then let us figure it out together. I'm not asking for perfection. I'm just asking for a chance." Again, that flicker of something deeper sparked in her mother's gaze. It was fragile, but there an invitation or maybe an opening she could choose to embrace. From behind, Ray whined, "Lily, we're waiting. Just a second." She shot back, glancing over her shoulder blindly, caught in the heart of her confrontation. Every part of her wanted to flee to the familiarity and comfort of light-hearted laughter. But she also craved the warmth that only reconciliation could bring. "Can you stay?" she whispered to her mother, desperation lacing her words. "For just a minute longer?" Silence stretched between them, almost tactile, filled with unspoken words and possibility. Then, almost imperceptibly, her mother nodded, a faltering movement that flickered between acceptance and fear. Lily felt a rush of warmth spreading through her, buoyed by the vulnerable gesture. But before she could let herself fully feel that hope, the door burst open. A loud cheer erupted as friends flooded into the room, dragging Ray along with them. Laughter erupted, breaking the delicate moment, and the spell was shattered. "See?" Ray chimed, oblivious to the weight on her friend's shoulders. "They've got cake with your name on it." Waves of voices crashed through the air, turning a moment of intimacy into a cacophony. Lily's heart sank, the crushing reality washing over her. Would they ever return to this moment? Her mother hesitated, glancing back towards the chaos, and that fleeting connection felt threatened. Would they really sit down and talk again? Or was this another close call destined to slip away? Just like so many before? Let's find a place to talk," her mother said, slowly breaking through the thrumming noise. "Yes," Lily replied, a rush of adrenaline fueling her. This moment wasn't over, it was just evolving. They had a chance. As they took their first steps toward a quieter corner of the room, the chatter faded again, but the weight of what lay ahead loomed larger than ever. Would they uncover the truths hiding beneath years of hurt? Would forgiveness finally bloom in the ashes of their past? With every beat of her heart, Lily felt the uncertainty surge. She had taken the first stride toward healing, but would it be enough to mend the deep-seated wounds? Lily led her mother through the throng of guests, the noise a backdrop to the intensity swirling between them. She felt both exhilarated and terrified. The weight of years clawed at her throat, making it hard to breathe. Would they really confront the pain they had both carried? Or would this moment slip away like so many others? They found a small alcove away from the laughter. The shadows felt comforting, yet heavy. Her heart leapt as her mother took a step toward her, the distance decreasing just enough to create a flicker of hope. "Here we are," her mother said, looking around cautiously, as if checking for eavesdroppers. "What did you want to say?" The sound of the party echoed like a distant storm as Lily grappled to find the right words. She paused, heart racing, searching her mother's eyes for a sign of readiness. "I want to understand why we keep dancing around each other. Why do we act like everything is fine when it's not?" Tears glistened in her mother's eyes, the steady armor she had put on wavering. I thought if I left things unsaid, they wouldn't hurt anymore," she admitted softly. "But some wounds never close, do they?" Lily shook her head, feeling the truth of those words sink in like stones. "You didn't want to hurt me, but you did. We've both been living in this shadow, acting like we're fine but we're not." Her mother took a shaky breath. "I felt lost, Lily. I was scared to face my mistakes and how they affected you." She shifted, her vulnerability radiating despair. "I didn't think we could go back. Maybe we don't need to go back. Maybe we just need to go forward," Lily countered, her voice steadying as she spoke. "I want to be able to share my life with you, not just the good parts." Her mother looked away, the tension returning momentarily, as if she were grappling with shame. "But what if I mess it up again? Then we'll figure it out together." Lily took a step closer, heart in her throat. "I don't expect perfection. I just want honesty and maybe a little bit of love." For a heartbeat, the world stood still. The noise of laughter and cheer seemed to fade away completely, leaving only the two of them in this moment. But it was interrupted by a sudden clap of thunder from inside the room. A shout of joy broke through the wall behind them as Ray's voice erupted again, drawing Lily's attention. "They're cutting the cake," Ray shouted, enthusiasm bubbling over like the frosting on a birthday cake. Her friends followed, a procession of joyful faces intent on including Lily in the celebration. In that brief moment, Lily felt her heart split in two. She longed to run and join her friends but felt drawn to her mother. She looked at her, seeing the uncertainty mixed with hope reflected in her mother's eyes. "Stay," her mother said, her voice barely above a whisper. "We can talk more later, away from all this noise." It was a question and a plea wrapped in one, sparking more hope in Lily's chest. "Yes, definitely," she replied, locking eyes with her mother. Ray's cheerful shout broke through again. Come on. We can't have cake without the birthday girl. A soft smile crept onto her face, and, for the first time, it felt genuine. She glanced at her mother, sensing a silent agreement hanging in the air between them. Maybe this was the beginning. They still had work to do, but they were both willing to try. As they turned to walk back into the bustling room, a wave of laughter rolled over them. Lily's heart swelled. She had opened a door, and even if it was just ajar for now, it felt like a giant leap. Let us share a piece of cake, she said over her shoulder, as they stepped back into the light, her heart lighter than it had been in years. And maybe all the slices of our lives too. But as they reached the center of the room, uncertain glances hung in the air. Would this be a moment of connection or yet another moment of solitude? Lily felt the audience around them pulse with anticipation, leaving her to wonder, was she truly ready for what lay beyond this cake and laughter? Her stomach knotted with excitement and doubt. What would happen next? The laughter and chatter enveloped Lily as she stepped back into the room, her heart racing. She could feel the warmth of her friend's presence, yet the weight of her mother's anguish lingered just behind her. Each step forward was like walking a tightrope, balancing between the joy of celebration and the uncertainty of reconciliation. Lily, Ray's voice erupted again, bright and cheerful, pulling at Lily's attention. You made it. Come on. Let us get some cake before it disappears. A rush of excitement surged through her, mixed with anxiety. How could she enjoy the festivities when she had just laid bare the frailty of their relationship? But as Ray pulled her along, her mother walked beside her, hesitant yet willing to participate in this moment. The table was a feast for the senses, a colorful display of cake and treats. Lily's friends gathered around, their laughter ringing out like chimes in the air. Everyone's faces sparkled with delight, but Lily's gaze frequently flicked back to her mother, who stood slightly apart. A knot tightened in Lily's stomach. Can you help me with the candles, Lily? Ray asked, breaking through her thoughts. Of course, Lily replied, unleashing a smile she hoped would reassure both Ray and herself. As she bent down to retrieve the lighter, her heart thumped in sync with the music playing. They joined hands, the group forming a circle around the table. Lily could feel her mother's eyes drifting to her, questioning, yet hopeful. It's okay, Lily silently urged her as Ray lit the candles with exaggerated flair. You're part of this too. Ready? Ray shouted, igniting energy among the group. On the count of 3, Lily glanced at her mother, who was watching intently, feeling the moment swell like a balloon. 1, 2, 3. The sound of laughter and cheers erupted as Ray blew out the candles. And in that instant, Lily managed to grip her mother's hand. A simple gesture, but one that bound them together, connecting the past with some potential future. What did you wish for? Ray asked, tilting her head, trying to catch her breath from laughing. Lily hesitated, the weight of her desire rushing to the surface. She wished not just for cake and candles but for the courage to nurture this fragile bond between her and her mother. I wish for more time and honesty, she murmured softly. Her mother's fingers tightened around hers in response, a subtle acknowledgement that stoked the warmth in Lily's heart. It was a small moment, easily overlooked amidst the whirlwind of noise, but to them, it was monumental. Just then, a sudden round of applause broke out near the punch bowl. Curiosity piqued. Lily turned her head just in time to see the party host, a childhood friend of her mother's, gesture dramatically toward the crowd. Everyone, we have a special surprise for our lovely birthday girl. Lily's heart raced again, the thrill of anticipation coursing through her. Ray's eyes widened. What surprise? Before Lily could squeeze her mother's hand tighter, the host announced, this year, we're not just celebrating Lily, but everyone who has been a part of her journey. We want to highlight her kindness and resilience. Lily's heart swelled with warmth, yet a sudden chill crept up her spine. What did that mean? Did her struggles really matter to everyone here? The buzz of chatter around her picked up as whispers filled the room, curious and excited. Then, one by one, people began to share stories about Lily, each recounting small moments of her kindness that reached far beyond her years. Her heart soared and sank, a chaotic dance of emotions as the good and bad memories collided. Amid the sea of voices, she caught her mother's gaze, and shock filled her mother's eyes. It was a mixture of pride and something deeper, something vulnerable. As stories flowed, Lily's heart raced. But what she didn't expect was the sudden realization that perhaps she wasn't the only one who needed this acknowledgement. Her mother's past weighed heavily on her shoulders, visible even in this jubilant moment. A gentle pressure tugged at Lily's conscience, urging her to understand, to connect the dots. Could her mother also be ready to share her story? The noise around her faded as she locked eyes with her mother, feeling the world shrink to just the two of them. "Let us talk," Lily whispered, squeezing her mother's hand once again. But before they could move closer together, the applause echoed through the room, stretching the suspense past its limits. Something was shifting in the air, and Lily felt the weight of what came next. Would they finally intertwine their stories, or would they remain separate threads in the tapestry of their lives? The answer hovered just out of reach, filled with uncertainty. The atmosphere buzzed with excitement, laughter spiraling up to the ceiling like confetti thrown into the air. But for Lily, the moment felt heavy with expectation. She could sense a mix of joy and tension flickering between her and her mother, just waiting to ignite. The applause faded, and a soft murmur overtook the crowd, anticipation threading through every voice. Suddenly, the crowd parted, revealing a figure stepping forward. It was Aunt Janice, her mother's sister, who had a reputation for being the family glue, warm, nurturing, but fiercely protective. As she took center stage, a knowing smile graced her lips, and she looked intently at both Lily and her mother. "Hello, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed sharing your stories about our amazing Lily." Aunt Janice beamed. "But I believe it's time for a little more than just words tonight. I have a surprise for our lovely girl, one that goes beyond cake and candles." Lily's heart raced. What could this possibly mean? Would it lighten the load she felt every day? Aunt Janice continued, "Lily, dear, I want you to know that you are stronger than you think. I've watched you navigate life's ups and downs with grace. Therefore, I thought we could celebrate not just your birthday, but also your spirit." As she spoke, Aunt Janice pulled a small envelope from her pocket with a flourish, holding it up for everyone to see. "This here is a scholarship to an art program you've always dreamed about. It will help you hone your skills and provide mentorship along the way." Gasps filled the room, followed by a wave of clapping. With every clap, Lily felt the warmth of love wrap around her, but her stomach twisted. Art had always been her escape, her way of expressing what words couldn't. Yet, looming behind the excitement, there was a sense of guilt. Her mother had supported countless dreams for Lily, but had never found the space to pursue her own. "Mom?" Lily's voice trembled as she turned to her mother, who stood transfixed, watching Aunt Janice with a mix of pride and sadness. "Are you okay?" Her mother took a deep breath, finally stepping forward. "I am more than okay," she murmured, her voice breaking slightly. "You deserve this, Lily. You deserve to chase your dreams." But Lily faltered, glancing between her mother and Aunt Janice. "What about you? What do you want? I don't want to leave you behind." Her words hung in the air, creating a palpable silence that wrapped around them like a thick fog. It was as if the entire room had paused to absorb the weight of her concern. Lily's mother hesitated, her eyes glistening. "I've spent so long worrying about making sure you're happy, about holding you up. But perhaps it's time for me, too, to find what I want." Lily's heart swelled with hope, a tether that seemed to tighten between them. Maybe this night wasn't just about her. Maybe it was the beginning of something greater for both of them. As laughter bubbled back up, Aunt Janice clapped her hands together to shift the focus. Okay, let us cut the cake. It's time to celebrate our girl, the artist among us." Lily tried to shake off the lingering doubts swirling in her mind, but the connection she felt with her mother still buzzed between them. She took a deep breath. "Are you ready to talk after this? Maybe we can figure things out together?" Her mother nodded slowly, her expression softening. "I'd like that very much." With cake in one hand and her mother's other hand intertwined with hers, Lily felt a surge of determination. They had a chance to share fears, dreams, and stories. But before they could slice the cake, the lights dimmed suddenly, and a spotlight focused on the door. Lily held her breath, the excitement turning into curiosity as the door creaked open, revealing yet another unexpected guest. Who could it be? And what new layer would this surprise add to an already eventful evening? Lily wondered, her heart racing again at the thought of what could unfold next. The door swung open, and the room fell silent. A hush enveloped the crowd, eyes wide with surprise as a figure stepped into the warm glow of the party lights. It was Mr. Roberts, the beloved high school principal. His presence usually brought a sense of calm, but tonight, an air of unexpected joy filled the space. "Good evening, everyone," he called out, his voice booming with enthusiasm. "I hope I'm not interrupting the festivities, but I couldn't miss this moment. I think it's important for all of us to celebrate not just Lily, but the journey she represents. Today is about resilience, about coming together." For a moment, Lily held her breath. Mr. Roberts wasn't one for dramatic entrances. Something significant must be happening. He continued, "Let us bring everyone's focus back to what it means to lift one another up. I've been inspired by Lily's story, her hard work, determination, and the way she has shown us all that hope exists even in our toughest moments." A wave of murmurs rose, but Lily's heart fluttered. Was he really speaking about her? Did he recognize the struggle she felt deep inside? The principal motioned toward her, eyes sparkling with sincerity. "To honor Lily tonight, I'd like to present her with something special, a recognition from our school for her dedication and spirit. It's not about the grades or performances. It's about the way she lifts those around her." He added, "Lily, through your kindness, you've shown us what it truly means to be part of a community, and it's time we let you know you matter to us." The applause broke through the stillness, echoing around her like a rushing river. Lily felt herself blushing under the warmth of their recognition. Hands were clapping, voices were joining in with chants of her name, and suddenly the walls around her isolation crumbled. For so long, she had downplayed her worth in comparison to her mother's struggles. But now, surrounded by love, she began to see the strength woven into her very being. But amid the cheering, the most poignant moment was when her mother stepped closer. "You're so strong, Lily. You don't understand how incredible this is," she whispered, her voice thick with emotion. Their fingers intertwined tighter, an unspoken promise of unity and support forming between them. Feeling a warmth burgeon in her chest, Lily turned to the crowd. She climbed onto a chair, raising her hands for silence. I don't know what to say. It means so much to me to be here, to be seen." Her voice wavered as tears glistened in her eyes. "We all have our battles, some of us wear our scars openly, while others hide them deep. But tonight, standing here with all of you, I realize I don't have to hide anymore. Together is how we thrive." The applause erupted once more, driving her resolve forward. It was more than a celebration of a birthday. It was a celebration of survival, connection, and the power of the community. "Let us cut this cake," Aunt Janice exclaimed brightly, breaking the spell of silence. And with that, laughter and joy returned in full force. The celebration swirled around her like colorful confetti, but the exhilarating feeling of connection remained, rooting itself deep in Lily's heart. As her friends crowded around the table, Lily spotted Tom. He was at the edge, watching with a smile that radiated warmth and support. He gave her a thumbs up, and she knew that he had believed in her all along, even when she couldn't see it herself. "Mom," she said, looking back at the woman who had once seemed so distant, "let us celebrate tonight. We can start fresh together." The words hung in the air, and her mother nodded, tears pooling at the corners of her eyes. "Yes, together," she whispered, a smile breaking through her tear-stained facade. They joined the friends at the table, slicing through the cake, laughter mixing with joyous shouts as they celebrated the evening. As they ate and joked, a hush of understanding settled between Lily and her mother. The laughter flowed, each slice of cake tasting sweeter not just with frosting, but with the goodness of newfound hope. They were beginning to stitch together the threads of their lives, one conversation at a time. With the heartwarming chaos of the room swirling around her, and Tom's encouraging presence nearby, Lily felt herself take another step forward on the journey that lay ahead. Together, she repeated softly, and this time, she meant it with every fiber of her being. This was just the beginning of a beautiful story, their story filled with healing, love, and the kind of hope that could inspire a town. So what's next? The road would probably be bumpy. There would still be dark days. But now they faced them with resilience, the knowledge that standing united made them stronger. Lily smiled at her mother. Let us keep talking. Let us keep healing. And her mother returned the smile together. They were ready to embrace whatever came next. If you're feeling inspired by this story of hope and transformation, you need to subscribe now to stay connected and grab more exclusive stories just like this. Leave a like now if you loved this ending, it truly helps us reach more hearts. Comment below your reactions and feelings about this journey. We want to hear your thoughts. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Only true fans understand how important it is to support the channel through these actions.